Masanji Mejira Baraji, Majimanga Nangamunji, Suzari, Jiji, Dizanji Vela, Chazelo, Tigeda, Gediwa, Deji, Najim, Deji, Jumba, Lagunji, Jumada, Jizabega, Jumada, Jezi, Junenda, Zameno, Jiji, Junaji, Dingan, Jumasho, Yan, Dete. Josamazamu, Wajin, Zanju, Shiraji, Jimmy, Java, Nila, Badash. Kumanga de Dala and Raji, Tomana, Bada, and Sanjay to Silan de Bashari, Bajus, Mazamajama. Ovajere Zanjan, Gajim, Savachari, Rigo. Alala Jeraji, Bredajim, Samaja, Vajo, the Vadish, the Lavacha, the Gajim, Vadajus, Mazamajo, Vajere, Sanjay. Sidan de Vajara, the Gajim, the Cherry, Rigo, the Cherry, Berejim, Samaja, Vajo, the Vadish, the Lavavacha. Raja Domana Mayana, Damo, Sudoma, Tomani, Suzo, Zure, Tomani, Tomani Legend, Germana, Domani, Suzo, Domani, Domani Legend, Germana. Sodoma, Domani, Suzo, Domani, Domani Legend, Germana, Legend, Soda, Legenda. Namajava Doma, Sheriff, Deda, Chedan, Domani, the cinema, Majeva, Magava, Tamada, Tamada. Cherevena Lomanian, Sumi, Tomi, Dishemi, Namashiva, Mimi, Naomi, Nami, Chimilimi, Mizumi, Dami, Damira, Jimmy, Nami, Chimilimi, Sumi, Dami, Damira, Iyanavaja, Gajavadiamida, Mariwa, Zua, Mavanega, Jimmy, Gajita, Vadiamida. Teaching the Nova, Gujo, and Gova, Lami, Jimmy, Tomi, the Cherry, the Josaman, and the Tomi. Sila Dua Meji Dua Meji Ji De Yang Ile De Da Ji Da De Zo De Na Ba Shi Ba San Je Dan Je Ni Shi Re Ji Pu Re De Ji Ma La De Ji La Na Be Yang Da Ba Zo Ba Ji Dong Ba Zo Be San Je Zo De Da Na Shi Re Ji Pu Re De Ji Be Nga Ri Ba Shi Be Nga La Na Be Nga Mi Nyam Ba Da Nyam Be Nga Dong Ga Da Je Re De Shi Be Shi Be Nga Mi De Ba De De Ba Ji Ba Shi De Shi Re Ji Pu Re Ji Be Nga Me Ba Da Da Ga De Ga De Ba Ra Ga De Ba Ra Sang Ga De Ba Di So Ha De Da Ga De Ga De Ba Ra Sang Ga De Ba Di Da Ga De Ga De Ba Ra Sang Ga De Ba Di So Ha De Da Ga De Ga De Ba Ra Sang Ga De Ba Di So Ha Shi Re Pu Re Ji De Ba Ba Da Shi Re Ji Pu Re Ji Sa Ma Ra Ne Jen De De Ding De De La Shi De Ji De Ba Sa Ma Jo Ba Wa Ji De Sa Ma Jo La Le Sa Shi Jo Wa Chi Ne Le Sa Ri Je Ba De De Jen De De Jen De Shi De Jen De Shi Re Ji Sa Ma La La De Ji Ji Wa Na Ji De Ya Chen De De Ji De Ji Ga Zi Ne Zi Ne Ma Sha Re Ba Ji Sa Ma Sa Ma Jo Pa Wa Ji De Sa Ma Ji De Tam Ji De De Ko De Da Da Me Da La Ma Ye Da Ni Da Ji We Ji De Ren De Jem De De Ji Sum Ba La Ngom Ba De Do Ga Na Ji We Ne Jo Na Ma De Ngo Ji De Ju Ma Ji Da Ji Do Bu La Ma Ye Ba Ji Ne Zong Ga De Za La Cha De Lo Shadara Samara Yabe Dayada Gade Para Sanga de Budi So Abaga Jada Jagaya de Melo Ji No Ji Togor Ji Miwar Ji Shiwar Ji Dagi Midi Measuring Amada Shindi Korea Sa Gare Don Raji Javada Midini Vijin and Javada Timati Japaza Ji Tragedy and the Lele Show Veje Jonje Medo Da Rera Linshi Nindi Jimba Sanje Shindi Midi Awa Ye Dogu Nanda Shinla Chupara Sho Tamba Chinanje Chuga Kala Chinze Tindin Cheda Zambe Duje Zima Saji Chuji Chawa Abdo So Burane Mendela Kani Yataya Sanje Chedan Saji Chedan La Chanjo Bada Dani Jasum Taki Chichin Jive Sonam Ji Tola Benje Sanje Tobara Sanje Chedan Saji Chedan La Chanjo Bada Dani Jasum Taki Chichin Jive Sonam Ji Tola Benje Sanje Tobara Sanje Chedan Saji Chedan La Chanjo Bada Dani Jasum Taki Chuchin Jive Sonam Ji Dola Benje Sanje Dobra Sho Na Ganga de Zenyi Zave Dao De Je Bang Yin De Me Shin De De Gudan De La Cha De Lo Dong Yin Yin Je Sun De Je Bai Lang Chi Je Su De Han Je Den De Cha Ne Ben Ma De De Je Zo La So De So Shin De Lun Do Sho Ban De De La Ma Ren Ba Shin Da Ge Chi Gu Ru Me De Shin Ka De Jin Be Gu Ne Je San De Gu San Do Jin Gu Do De De So Hai tang zo mi la complex breathing exercise tik chen ro ju chang ga ju zi shi ge an de ne chang ga ju cha ne ni samba de zi shi wa ro chi ro ti ga la da da wa ti ga la sim sha ji de da ro
Okay, so we'll start off by doing the 10 breathing exercise, and then after you've finished that, just keep the mind like in a peaceful state in the present moment.
아, 다음 꿀롱 검식이라. 단다디 진전년야디 이지 미션을 편도치에나 수수 삼바 아니 지 야구요 소약 체디네 수수 삼바 야구 쓰는 미션을 편도치니지 지기 선배니 꿀롱 야구 이제 쇼스라.
So now we need to set a motivation. So we should be thinking we're here to develop our minds, right? And develop our kind of thinking. And but why are we doing that? We're doing that in order to benefit sentient beings. So or other mission, so other people. So should be our motivation for doing this learning.
다 가와금 다링아디 베제디 믹스에다 겨울음식 저 남대원 원 초비 친구랑 겨울음식 통지 친납다 잠을링다는 베제다 디 통마다니 가저래다 디 통마 저 초비지어 팅마 당고선자 나라서 겨울음식이 이 투기 공시나시 지수지 법정치기 중앙디 베미시 겨울상보이 전화야고요.
So now we should rejoice. Think of how fortunate we are to be able to study this text that the Dalai Lama put together, and through his kindness, that's why we're able to study this. So this is the first time a text like this has been seen in this world. So we're very fortunate to be able to study it.
다 아주 단다 듀스셰로 네 듀스상단에 것도 당보 듀와 속이 충다 듀 참모제로 듀 참모 두단데 아니 직셰로 안데네 네 속고랑게 천이로 직셰 지메타 제럽도 같은데 지마도 안데네 속이 야와스 아니 두스마 도샤나 다 당당한도 suk du dan di go she de yin da dang bo suk thamu khan des du yu me di ko la ta thirin ma zo ane du da ji jing gi suk thamu de dan khan de du yu me tang ane chira ma ngom bo ma gi suk thamu du dan khare me zo de ni ro chi do res.
So today we're going to be looking at the subtle particles that make up form, right? So we're going to be looking at form, or also matters. So we're going to be looking at the definition. So today we're going to be looking at the subtle particles. Then later we're going to be looking at the definition of form and the divisions of form, and so forth, right? So now we're looking at these smallest, most subtle particles and how they're viewed, and how they compose grosser particles, and how they're viewed by the lower schools, and also by the upper schools of the Buddhist tenets.
다 낭배 슝드 서와 다디 베자디 마타기 되게 제너와 저런 베제라 낭배 슝드 뭔가 디둘레 수진지 최남 중앙 첨부 시 주체원의 송신서다 제장 뭔가 디드윤세 땡주 명례 또 땡주 명다 뒤여라 뭔가 다디 아니 뭔가 디드윤세 dila sujin ge chue nam de zo de juan chen bo shi si sa chu me long shi ju chen ne druba de shig yores da de shig yores ro.
So looking at the text, page 210, it says here, as for the presentation in the Buddhist text, in the 7 treatises of Abhidharma, it says that material phenomena are composed of 4 great elements. So these 7 treatises are what's the main texts that are looked at when it talks about the composition here. And it said, as it said, these form is composed of 4 elements: earth, wind, water, and fire.
de jungrim ro ji ma chik she go ro tsi jidan to ma jum den de ji da sung sha go re ro ina yang de da den be sung shan gyo de pa tu zu mong bo ji le nyam je ani thuram ni wa ro thuram ni wa tu san ju ro ye me se chum be ani ngom be lo be chö ji be lam sik do dama shiri chö ngom be ning bo am ani tham je yo ma ba da chidamawa dila dewa chobje menda dina tamje yume sa tamje yume degi
Correct. Dunda chop dera.
dewa chobje menda chobje na ge so tamje yuwa ma lu ngombe lu dewa sheres ta chida shenzu chimo sa dewa chobje sa yor da de chomden de chanda chit tengme do tengme gonzo ge namsha dila menda ro ji yawa menda chobje na ne ta 단다가 디 탐제 요에메 루게 아니 다디 조식이 요래서 왔다 딜라 아니 루벤 다마시리스다 다마시리 이 지라션즈 처무스니 제가 다디 제라 아니 로비 잉예기 네 중원바단다 난도 저 아비담고시로 저다 저기 아니 단데도제 두시네 당원바 원보 오메기 아니 du thara ku namsha chungzu di odinde revjiri esro tenju chungrim rawat.
Okay, so to give a little bit of history, that all of this is based on the Buddha's teachings, right? But it wasn't until the 2nd century that the great master Dhamashri composed what's called the essence of Abhidharma. And so this forms the basis for the lower school's viewpoint. And they base all the phenomena and all of this in 18 divisions or treatises, I guess you could say. So that the lower schools have these 18 divisions. And so this was first put together in this okay, so sorry, I'll just read the text first. It is, however, in the essence of Abhidharma by Dhamarishi, a 2nd century Abhidharma master, and in the great treatises on differentiation, a treatise that extensively established the views of Shravasvada Abhidharma, that detailed discussions on atoms are found, compiling the essence of the points of the great treatises and presenting them in scrutiny in a systematic manner. Vasubandhu composed the Treasure of Knowledge and its auto-commentary. It is these texts that a tradition of the lower Abhidharma systems prevented in the view of the subtle particles. So I was saying that as first it was Dhamarashi that may compose this text, and then later Vasubandhu composed the Treasure of Knowledge, which acts as a basis for the lower 2 schools' understanding of phenomena.
Luwen Damashirla de George Bandi Edishage Gigenda, George Bandi Edisha Gigan, so this is Shagor. Inaya Tawe Chane Damashirle, George Bandi Tawa Tokwa Toyer, Tokwat. As in George Bandi Edishage, Tawa Umatinju Tawa. Luwen Damashiri de Chirama Tawa Nizan, Tawe Chane, Luwen de Tokwa Mayo, Loma George Bandi Edisha, Tokwa Toyer. Ine George Bandi Edishage, Lamenang, Lama Zojik the Yorda. So that Chung over down Duzamada, Chanju singing Yamenda, Chung over the Manguji did in a Yember in the Givation Zoj the Yor.
So this Dhamarashi was actually Lama Atisha's, one of Lama Atisha's lamas. And even though he was said to have a lower view than Lama Atisha, because Lama Atisha had Majjhimika Prasangika view. However, the Dhamarashi had the Great Exposition School view, the Chidragmara, or the Great Exposition School view. But despite this, despite having a lower view, and Atisha had a greater understanding of the view, Atisha always praised him as being his main lama, main teacher, because it's from this teacher that he got the teachings on bodhicitta and many other Dharma teachings. So for this reason, despite having a lower view, he's still said to be Atisha's main teacher.
Oh, this is that the and that dinner la jurong la che. That dinner la ngombo kome ke judan khande she gore sna. Ni that the rob the ma she de. Tian sa chu melon jong shi dan su de je du ze je ba. Du ze je de khar sna sa chu melon che ne su chi ro re ja. Ye la du ze je du be ting ne ne su je nam du ba de. Kelling yore. Te ting ne su je thara su je thamon chu je ra go sa da. Rupshi zo de 유제 예요가 디 캘린지비요 디팅네 아니 차단 차진 수진라고 차진 뒤진 탐몽 오보다 지 유제 남샤도 도시엔 샤고 레스로.
Okay. So on this view, physical entities are formed from a composition of 8 substantial particles, the 4 primary elements of earth, fire, water, and wind, and the 4 elements derivatives of form, smell, taste, and tactile sensation. And in terms of the constituents that subtle and coarse physical entities are posited, it's in terms of these constituents. So there's these 4 elements. So all form, all matter, all functional things are a composition. No, sorry, not just form and matter. No, Noba Tamchi or Zug Tamchi? Zug Tamchi. Yeah, sorry, not all functional things. All physical matter is composed of these 8 constituents. So these act as the basis for the composition of all the most subtle particles and all the gross form that's formed. So any physical matter is made up of these 8 constituents.
추더베질러와 추 드롭질러 추로베질러 샤샤비나 추딜러 뒤제 제요레스 추더벨러 쳬나 니 추간라 싱라서 양싱 요와세 그러와 추 양싱 요와당 아니 추러 지싱 제거는 메도 지싱스되다 메도단 싱단도 저러 추제데 추야 제도야 니 요와 추 요싱 양싱 요와 렌싱 샤와 된데 추란신데다 셰먹어세 추러 요와세 안테나시 아니 추러야다 세두 메두 롱괴두 아니 라니 추인 베진에 추이드 아니 사주 추추루룩 치야데 싸게 제거요라 니 추나라 트레도와 추라고 하잖아 아이스타 말데데 된노 추를 트여요 추를 트여 한다 추도 윤신제 딱 한다 트여요 단다 아니 롱즈도 고요야 돼 롱치여라 아니 미기 통도 추미기 통도 미시 송자로 수로와 아니 추라 데도와 치카야도 티마도와 찔러로 녀야도 출루신이 당한도 수부투고요. 스밍지기요 아니 어디 출러 유제 제디베 요가디 어두 센셰로스타 세부도.
So this can be shown when it says here in the way these 8 substantial particles assemble physical entities can be explained by taking water as an example, since water supports wood and so on by keeping it afloat. And since promotes the growth of grass and trees, and since water moves, it arises together with the earth particle, fire particle, and wind particle, respectively. Being water, the water particle is already present, and given the eye conscious perceives the color of water, the ear conscious the sound, nose conscious the smell, tongue conscious the taste of water, and the body constituents of tactility of water. The particles of material form of smell, taste, and tactility arise simultaneously with water. This is also the case with all other physical entities. So we can see that water contains these 8 constituents because it has the qualities of all of them, right? So when we talk about wind, it's light and moving, right? That's a property of water. Water also has things like heat in it. It also has this... so it has this kind of density, I guess. It has a density to it that makes it a constituent of the earth. And of course, you can see that it's wet and moistening because that's the quality of water. So we can see that it constitutes all of these four elements. And then, as was said in the text, you're able to perceive it with your various senses. Like you can taste it, you can see it, you can smell it. Because we wash our body with it to kind of remove smells and so forth. So it has some quality there as well. So we can see that it has the constitute of the four elements, and because it can be perceived by the other four senses, that it has these aspects as well.
다디나네 두 타럽세야지 민샤고라. 다디 두나네 타슈 들어가다 두 타마라마라마라. 타외 타득바데 디 민라 두 타럽세고라. 얘다 두다 참에 어디샤고라. 참에 이나로 송도 두 타라네 두 남지나네 타슈 당서 숙진 남지난 통매 좀시 통마 두 타럽되게 아니 야야야야 치제 아니 속도 그용고로 스타디 참에리스 콜라 차치야요 말에. 아니 간데스네들 아니 참이 찍나나 두마츠 꼬르제 되대요 그래서 찍나 두마츠 꼬르다
참에 mambo
참에 디나라 가래요 그래서나 추 참에 매 참에 롱게 참에 소게 참에 쥐 참에 로 참에 렉제 참에 뒤제 참에 예지 꼬르제 되대 되게 핀주 마투과시 되대요 그래서다 통나 아니 데로거라 어디 핀주 마레바 네바 송싱서다 어디 랑기 다니에 찾아 다디 어디서 랑기 다니디 주에 초자단 제외 체규메와 당사 우두 차로 찍려야 듀타르지 신이 타네 거와 당사 랭나니 초탐제 지레는 핀주대와 렉 두고 말해서 랭나 데도 그래서 초레 랭나 아니 차제스 초그레나 차제 차도 그래서 랭나 데도 그래서 제단고 찍을 거르제 데데 요래但是 이나 거르 데바들라 차데레스 체트웨요 말에 참에 어디 지라마오게 뉴 타슈디 샤고요 뉴 타로라데 통매 좀시 속 좀시 다디 샤고요 레스라.
Okay, so with the Great Exposition School's view, I'll just read it first. Now, the subtle particle is the smallest among the particles and the basic constituent of all coarse physical form. It is also said in early Abhidharma treatises that the subtle particle is partless and is surrounded by many other particles. And those particles do not mutually touch. They are understood in such terms because they cannot be divided into spatial dimensions or components while still retaining their identity. One single subtle particle at the center is surrounded by other subtle particles, and if one particle were to touch the other, then if they made contact on all sides, they would merge into a single particle. While if one particle were to make contact on a specific side, it would then possess parts. So these most subtle particles, they're said to be partless, or indivisible would be another way to put it. Okay, partless is used here, so partless is probably the best translation. So these, however, these partless particles are the composition, the basis for composing all other phenomena. But even with, all other form, not phenomena. My bad. All other form, physical matter. However, even these these most subtle particles are said to contain. So these subtle partless particles are said to contain the 8 subtle particles of the 4 elements, and then taste, touch, smell, and sight. So these 8 constituents are said to be present within each of these most subtle particles. Now, these most subtle particles do not touch, right? They never meet each other, but there's around one, there's many others, moving when you have a composition of form. So these partless particles are then formed together to make a larger particle that is divisible, that does have parts. So this is the view of the Great Exposition School. So in general, such texts speak of 2 types of subtle particles. the unitary substantial particle and the aggregated atoms. So yeah, these are the two types of particles.
대두 타랍라야디 속이 충다들다 속 나게 다 충슈디로 야 체규 춘에 매든겨 콜로파 여체 매든겨들라 속이 아니 두 타랍사들다 because 제기 두 타랍라디스 봐
Okay.
니버디 가서는 뉘베 충다르스 봐 뉘바 츠다 츠 뉘샹교기 충에 타들이야 참여지요로 딜라야 아니 뉘베 다디 차제 차로 뉘베 충다르 저거디 당보디 아니 제두 타랍디 참여지 석두 타랍디 차제 차로다 당보 참여네 아니 차제 차고라 당보 제두 타랍 되네 석두 타랍로라 석두 타랍디 야 뉘베 뉘샹교 난게 차슈 데릴라디 아니 디 차제 당보디 차제 참여자 니버디 차제 차로 되나라도 와티 세부다
Okay, so the nibede chame
참여 듀얼 되는 차제 차로
Okay, katso labgi marero. Katso di labgi mare.
그래
Pena di trame katso di
데딜라야 그런 예 여러 예도 두네 야야야 두네 차제도 두 아니 고삭두 차로 거라 가서 싹베두 싹버스도 주루루 제어라 루루 제어데 당기 데레 참여 듀얼을 하고 마로 아니 차제로 오라고
Right. So these two particles are divisible, whereas the first one, which is the unitary substantial particle, as it's said here, or you could just say indivisible particle, is the smallest form of matter or form that it's possible to have. And then when you gather a certain number of these together, when you gather these together, then they form a divisible particle, or what's said an aggregated atom here. And so this does have parts. The first one is partless. The second one it is divisible. It does have parts, but it's still extremely small.
제가 데로다 토제의 수진남이나네 얘라 따단다 제두 참모티시고 봐 제디나 토제에다 그 수진남이 얘라 따고 토제 수진인데기 참여도도 그 얘라네 돼요. 그런 게 차도 그요 말아. 디나라 갑디즈 나래 참여기 뒤도서 내대요라 참모도서 혼자야 뉴제 아니 차제잖아라고 라고는 구문에 두센다 제일 갈래갈래 내용으로 두스미기 통해서 차도요라 제가 토제기 수진남이 연라데 내신세야데 데레 당기기 참여 담어데 거 연라레스와 아니 수진 신기 쇼면요 그 신다가 매워 소투고요 말다 수진 신기 쇼면요 마세 숙진기 마 매우 수마도 마제 르장 소소 데레스가 저 셈기 셰베 참여도 그 배제와 체제 능고부 코란라 디 여와디 치주 매우 마세 먼저 르장 디레 여와 체뉴에 면조 지글라 아니 다 참여기 두유사 디샤고다 유타럽 증오다 유타럽사디 마치 세르직단 어딘데 샤고 레스다
So the unitary substantial particle is defined in these terms as a partless particle that resides as a constituent of material form that possesses obstructive resistance, and it cannot be destroyed by other physical entities. It cannot be mentally deconstructed to smaller parts, and it constitutes the smallest discrete unit of matter. So this is, as we said, this is the smallest unit of form or matter that is possible to have. It cannot be divided, and it is the building block that all phenomena is based on. So this cup, for example, would have many of these tiny particles that make it up, and the aspect of it is said that it impedes, right? That's the aspect that it has physical resistance, or it impedes or obstructive resistance. It's translated as here. So, and it is, the reason is the smallest, it cannot be divided more by the mind. It's the smallest particle that can be perceived by the mind. So this is what's said to be the smallest particle.
다데 베샤도와 데베디하고 쉬어래와 사추 메롱시 참여시제 이 수지로렉자 참여시 아니 다 참여시 아니 이제 다 참여게 레레네 뒤딘 요질라 데제들 제두 타랍스고다 사게 다 중화 사게 참여 중화 추기 참여 중화 메 참여 요롱기 참여 소기 참여 뒤 참여 레즈메 렉제 참여 요조라 딜이야 네 뒤 타랍스다 샤오라다 어디 딜야 아니 제둘라 중화단 중준이 유베 아니 두제 제디 셰베 트롭스 디게디 네 총원베 셰베 첨몰라 다디 콩셰용으로 제일 다디 디nen가레다 디다 저 치라마웨기다 디 디나라 카세고 슈스도 메시 베셰 신다나라 디 카세고 요마레 디제 제투레 세아주미시지디 참에 추메 롱기 참에 수레를 참에 디야 듀레 참에 듀비진스 세부야 말 디제제 베제 디나라다 자와당 당기기 베제 시라 천제 첨모다 dombe도다 도수 상면나라 아니 되베 관계 듀 참아들라야 디제제 듀그레스 송샤요레 다 디제제 듀그레라디 미망고지 다 독벌레요레 간데지 야골라디 디나라다 카세부스 참에기 디제제 듀그레스라다 제도다 참에 디제제로
Okay.
정말 주의 참 디나라 세부도 돼 세부 쉽티도
Hmm.
이베야 디 카세부 디 야고쇼도
So this gives a very clear presentation. It says here, for example, the small indivisible particles of earth, fire, water, and wind, together with the four indivisible derivative particles of form, smell, taste, and tactility, these constitute the 8 indivisible substance particles, and each of these separately constitute a unitary substantial particle. The smaller unit that constitutes an aggregation of the 8 such particles represents the smallest compound unit of matter. So, this explanation here that was gathered together, because there were many other explanations, but they basically stated, it made it clear that the most subtle unit of matter, this indivisible particle, is a constituent of these 8 indivisible particles. So, it constitutes. So, di dul tramo di sangma yuret or di ge dul
참에
chami get. Okay, so these chami, it's the literally translated as the partless 8. So these partless 8, these when you have this partless 8, that forms the smallest unit of matter, this indivisible particle. So there were different picture Shimbakarisus.
이제 망보나 디 카세오요 말에
Okay, so this wasn't clearly presented in any other text, and there was some explanation of the formless realm. Sorry, not the formless realm. I must have misheard that. So it must be the form. So in the form, the smallest unit of matter or form is a constitute of, or has these 8 partless this 8 partless, literally translated.
다딜라 지라 현주 치면나라 딘데기 듀타모디 네 제야요 뭐 시게야요 뭐 빅스요 뭐 레야요 뭐 쇼메야요 뭐 네야요 뭐 차라고 차야요 뭐 리모드 통화요 뭐 이비요 뭐 등보요 뭐 미기 통화요 뭐 암조 퇴야요 뭐 스티제 네 로냐는 냐야요 뭐 레나 레야요 뭐 차 참여성라고 어디 저도 친구 참여네 이 인생 송다 어디래.
So, it goes on to explain it in the great treatises on differentiation. It says subtle particles should be recognized as extremely subtle material form. They cannot be dissected, destroyed, or pierced. They cannot be taken up or relinquished, transported, compressed, held, or stretched. They are not long or short, square or round, even or uneven, high or low, and are without parts, cannot be annihilated, seen, heard, seized, experienced, or touched. Therefore, subtle particles are called extremely subtle form.
다디 그 지주디세 다 니나 디직도데 두 타랍 듄 두발데네 아니 두텐직 그랬어.
Right, and then 7 of these form one.
아니 두텐직.
두 트렌.
두 타랍 듄 두발레 두텐직. 두텐디 당저 미기 통하여 차고다.
Right, 맥탕투빈.
두 타랍 듄 두발레네 두텐직. 두텐디 간저 미기 통하여 니세기 두다데 더 미기 통하여.
Okay, so I don't know if Adam's quite the right translation here. Yeah, 7 of these constitute one atom, but this they say that the nanza di dun trendi migtung. Okay, so Adam's not quite right, because this composition of the 7 can be seen with the eye. So if you have 7 of these subtle particles, then they form one molecule that could be perceived by the eye. Among the forms that are perceived by the eye consciousness is it extremely subtle.
어디 디 워디 주딜에 당긴간서 주딘라야 아니 여완이 여디 풍기를 제그 뒤타라나 사고 뒤타라 아니 제그 뒤타라니 탐제기 타베 통다이 뭐다 간식 어디 콩디체 다디 셔모진디 이와디 디체 셰드가 따드네 디 따치다마와게 오메 치다마와다 도데와게 아니 뒤타랍 참이네 로 아니 뒤타랍기 아니 뒤텐네 아니 도스도스체 공부도 라고도 도세 수두단데다 전다 독도로 직시에로 다 참여 공부 시에다 다 원보 공막이 아니 다 차제래라고 참여 말래라고 다디 시에고 대직시에고다.
Okay, so this partless particle is something that's posited by the lower schools, the Sutra school and the Great Exposition school. So they have two. They have an indivisible particle and then what was said to be an atom here, but it's a compositional particle, like a tiny compositional particle. So this is divisible into parts. But this view is separate from the Mahayana views because they don't posit a partless particle.
다시도나 차제에 미착적으로 시루나 차단 참여 시제거나 요 말에서
시루나 차제 임비kyab. Okay, so they say if it's phenomena or an established base, it necessarily has to have parts. Or it has to be divisible.
다나 당기게 ngombe sheya게 ene bena delawda loben thomese ji ngombo khome shungge tande 뒤타라게 남샤 지다 송지 주니 뒤타랍 제와 지담 식양 투바 매징 다 마마마 식제 아니 타 큐네 당기나시 베 니야면 저저로 당기다 참에 샤라고 네 텐데 니야면 저디 르 니데 다르 로게 로단 제데 로단 제데 유인자 르 제베 인자 차드 제고 르 차이다 콜라 참에스디 더 콜라 야 로봇치네 면조들라고라 그 참여에서는 로봇 요마르다고 로봇제 요마르 다단데 베는 심담버도이나 최담제 심기 다니릴랍디 당기게 뭐뭐 지라메 셰야기 참여디 심기 도인자 그 심기 차단 제데 요인자 차제리라고 하다디 뉴스 차제디 뉴스도 그러다 지다데 디네마 직대에서 타보도디 전다 도도디리다
So the presentation on the subtle and coarse material phenomena as stated in the primary and contextual texts of the upper Abhidhamma system, such as those of Asanga, follows that the view subtle particle refers to the smallest unit of matter that can still be conceived by the mind as a material entity, even though there is no ultimate limit of divisibility when subjugated to mental deconstruction. So basically this smallest particle that can possibly be found, right? That you can't find anything smaller. However, even though you can't perceive or find anything smaller than that, this particle still is perceived by the mind, right? So in this way, it can be divided into parts further because it's connected with the mind, then it necessarily has that part of the mind, right? So this is one part of the object, because from the mind only school they say that the object arises in conjunction with the mind, right? So therefore, because it's necessarily connected with the mind, then it has to. If we say something's partless, it's not supported by anything else, right? It has literally Geshe says no helpers. However, if it's connected with the mind, if it's established in conjunction with the mind, then that is a helper. That's a support, and therefore it has that aspect or that part. So it's important to explain this, because if you don't understand this difference in the views, then the rest might become tricky.
They love that they all. 저는 로그 마마마마마 제그로 근데 포바디난 제 토무제 마마마다 딩상도 치시점 체계요라 모든 산데 체계요라. 아니 마데데데데데네. 다단도 변한거 치시기 마통받는데 치시기 마통받는데 곰점네 통하여 당도 곰점에 르도 로게 딜레마 차시 타르 땅제 안 간다지 로게 다 딜레 참 단도
Di
파치
shine drawra.
시내라고 하시네 시내 토고다 시내 토는 것이도 셈다래 시내 토음네 아니 신디다 메 로게 다 딜레 파여 치주 민두세 알레드 아니 당게 지라마 셔야게 아니 참여라도 돼 이내야 심담바게 딜로 차단제데 요바 인자 그 참여 말해서 디 거야 되다 차제 다는데 와
Okay. So this most subtle particle, right, or what the lower schools refer to as the partless particle, is the smallest amount of matter that it's possible to perceive. So these days, scientists have various machines and I don't know whatever to measure these particles, right? However, of course, they didn't have these back in the time when the Abhidhamma was written. But what they did have was these a couple of people who knew how to meditate, right? So what they do is based on these beings who had this really strong karma binding. That was the smallest particle that could be perceived by these meditators, right? So this is sorry. Okay, conceived. Smallest particle that could be conceived by these meditators.
데도 언더데 워딘데 르 치잠니 식 차시 식베 탈 러드 넘버 치와 뉴바 대잠디 듀터럽디 넘버샷 로가 마마마마마마마마마마 예와 치치치치치 타두들라다 딜레 파탄다 차치규 멘두스들라 아니 듀터럽 타두디 샤르 이나데 참에 말에 차제레스라고 하데
Okay, so I'll just read it out. It says here that the aggregation of the subtle particles is composite form. But what it refers to as the subtle particles should be recognized as lacking physical structure. They are determined to be subtle particles by the ultimate analysis of intellect, which dispels the idea that they constitute a solid mass and denies the substantial existence as material form. So basically, this was the smallest particle that could be conceived or recognized by conceived by these great meditators. However, and this is why, because they couldn't find or conceive anything smaller, this is why the lower schools said that they were partless. But the higher schools, the mind-only schools, said, well, if there's needs to be a mind perceiving it, then that necessarily constitutes a part. Does that make sense?
네, 다디 로 제고랑지 ngoवे샬라 참여래. 봐. 이나야 제고랑 수크랑 룹단제로 마여와체나 참여. 이나야 로단 자연디 참여 차고요 말 차제 차도고. 다디 저와샤.
Okay. So if it were existing if it were on its own, like the smallest particle, then it could said to be partless because you can't conceive any divisions within it, right? But if its existence in conjunction with the mind, then that becomes a part, right? The mind becomes a part, so therefore it has parts.
디베네가 전부래. 다디 셴고래. 디하고 셴고래.
So are you guys clear on this? Because it's
제가 좀 된데 곰잡제 당보 아니 시내톱인데 아니 류트만이셔 공부다 류트만이셔 공부다 당보들을 좀 된데 아니 수분하게 류트엔디게 차다 세부도 제가 당보도 곰 수술을 자제 다 시내톱 사는 수술 류를 따라와 류를 따는데 아니 류게 나게 류트엔 참참참참참참 저저베시다들 당가지 하마도 왜 류트엔기 다차 류트엔기 공부직 차대거든 아니 류게 당신데 어떤 데지 전에 sigdoa 좀 된데 제가
So this all initially came about was when Buddha di Sangye Nyoma or Sangye
Sangye Khong.
So okay, this before he was actually attained full enlightenment. The Buddha had developed this calm abiding at that stage, like very profound calm abiding, and was doing like a body mindfulness meditation. And at that time, he saw that his body was composed of these these tiny subtle particles, right? And these subtle particles grouped together is what made the basis for his physical body, for composed physical matter or his physical body. So that's how this initially came
또
about.
디 통화를 되네 아니 다서야 매와 된다 하고요.
And through seeing this, then he was able to understand that there was no self.
그래서 다디 동니 도야라 탑란 빼 베직 다 빼미시야 그러셨어요.
Right. So this is a very good basis or understanding to then go on to realize emptiness.
다디 공부 공매시다래 좀더 공매시다래. 다 공부 공매 가르쳐서는 딜라 데스 도보라고 직제도. 듀터를 이비면 다 듀터를 이비면 니요. 네 분바대의 그 초배난 게 듀터는 핀주 제타 되려고 탐제지 입도 무인바 아니 교화매고 송다 분바배는 포배난 게다 포발랍샤는 되려 포배난 게 제되디게라 제타 되제 콜라 눈부나 되려고 입지 여러다 되라 그 제되디 입레스 라그레스로 근데 다디 켈린 제두라 이비여다 메스 딘데 켈린 친이 담다 요래 제두야 공부 되는데 이비여라 그래 레레 전에 이메라 그래 야 되는데 이비여라 그래 다딘데세 아니 저거잖아 근데 요래 스타트 송고요래.
Okay, so just going on, it says on the question of whether these subtle particles have shape, it said that although the individual particles in a composite entity like a vase are mutually distinct substances, they are equally spherical with regards to their shape. This is treated in Dignar's auto-competent analysis of object conditions. However, I guess it's saying that there's actually two views existing within this in the upper school. So they say that definitely when they're compounded together, this cup has shape. Nobody argues with that. But then within that, when you get to the subtle particles, some views say these subtle particles have shape and others don't.
어디래 다디네 아니 다 제두 듀터로 예와들이야 단다딜라 쫑아샤도 엄마 공마기로 다디 마질라시나 예와들라 아니 간저 미글서고 온보다 딩기 미완데다 듀터모임바디 듀두고래 미완데 속임바 미
Okay.
너 미겐 다겐 타마타겐사 미겐 다겐사 저 다겐 온보 수진 타와데 디게 상마타 속래 디게 속 듀터로에 듀션 요들라 미고 뭐 나가 뭐 제어 뭐 루정 뭐 이정 온보 어마 온봉아체 이리요 말에 다드네 속타디로 렉장아디체 주차송아 디간라 사추 메롱 시차송아 디간라 최지지 속사데 당한도 단단 최지지 속사데 돈바 속켈렌지고라 돈바
Okay, so in brief, the subtle particles have 15 types. 5 types of subtle particles constitute the 5 sense faculties or sense powers. So, this empowering condition of the I sense power, because you have the observed object condition, the empowering condition, and so forth. This I sense power is said to be form, right, or subtle form. And then going on, so there's 5 of those for smell, taste, touch, and tactile sensation. And then 5 types of subtle particles consisting of those faculties. So then the 5 sense powers, eye sense power, ear, etc. And then there's the subtle particle of sight, taste, touch, and smell. Yeah. And then we have the 4 types of subtle particle consisting of the 4 primary elements, so wind, fire, water, and earth. And then 1 type of subtle particle of a substantially existent mental object form. So this mental object form, an example of this could be vowels that you have. They say vowels have form, and this would be an example of that subtle form.
제가어디지 다디네 네 로벨랭디지라서 바다기 아니 수다티로릭 장만 중화시 뒤제 제 좀시 세월 때네 아니 두데오 메시지기 두데 양가와든데 네트웨어 뭐 콘서 창마 루루치지 두고 그래 스타디 쉐거래 정송도.
Okay, so as it says here, Bhagavad Gita not only accepts that the physical entities are composed of the 8 substantial particles in combination. Yeah, okay, so that's as far as Geshe-la read. So these 건데 these did great these subtrama did get yure. So it's the same that these most subtle particles have all of these 8 constituents.
당기디 마투바데 라송아 다 툭툭바데 마투바스나 다딜라 주루루 체제 되요레스다 당기 참에 연가오 많이 받치제 주 차유베스 오르시다 그 제기 차여로 디 메차르 딜 주차르 딜 룽기 차르스 여체 여러다고
The Bhagavad Gita
디디
okay, so
차제 켈렌식으로
so in this way they're also said to have these parts, you know, because it can be divided into earth, fire, wind, water, etc. These 8 aspects or constituents. So they, in this way, it's divisible into parts as well.
다디네 디나라 네가지 가르스나 당기 강다 지라마웨기 두딘 참에디 식도 메바 제도 메바 시기야요 말라송아 시기야면은 따고 자도 오라다 제가 아니 건데 딱배 먹어서야지 켈린 주제들이 딱배 먹어서
딱배 노보
딱배 먹어서 제 시름나 제스트 찹서 그러는 제가 다디 뭐바디 두링이 디 따고 말이 디 미다고 그래서 어디 셔고다.
Okay, so now again differentiating with the 2 views, the lower school view 치라마와 탄도데바 니바
니가 그때 도데바데 세가야 말다 치라마이라고 그래.
Okay. So, sorry, the lower school view, the Great Exposition, it's not clear about the Sutra view, what they hold, but definitely for the Great Exposition school. They hold this most subtle indivisible particle to be permanent. The reasoning is because it cannot be created or it's not created or destroyed. And they say it's a permanent functional thing. The reason they say this is because they say all phenomena has to have substance, has to be substance. And so this most subtle substance, because it's not created or destroyed, then it's permanent. However, the upper school views, they say that all functional things are necessarily impermanent. So these most subtle particles are impermanent.
아니 도마점데데 톡제지 뭐고 뒤타랍도 딱과 인스지 아니 숭요 말에 산제 디바 가고요.
Okay, so
다 산제 숭샤스고요. 디 산제 숭요 말에세.
So consolas kosangi sungire lab.
숭요 말에세. 콘제 제라마게 산제기 디 딱과를 숭요래로. 로는 예 파골라기 시티다. 로는 랭게지 두저게 디 산제기 숭요 말에세. 뒤타랍이는 주어도 그래. 주어이나 주어도나 딱과 용거 말에 미다고 용거를 스티키랑 산지에 근데 숭요 말에서 들라고 다 저거죠 그러거든요.
So the reason being is the Great Exposition School says that Buddha actually said these most subtle particles were permanent, but the upper school says that he never said that. In fact, he said that all these things are changing, and if it's changing, it's necessarily impermanent.
다 딜라 वर 딱과 인스미 세송요 말 좀데데 그 시기야요 말 여체요 말 라로와 제가 참에 모벨 차네 타 툭탁도 딜라 파 여체도야 매 인상 아니 딜라고 그러면지 디 주어도요 말을 라고요 말 다 콘도 코요 말와디 딱과 인스 송요 말.
Okay, so the confusion seems to come about because Buddha did say that these were indivisible and shiyumare. Oh, so they couldn't be divided or destroyed, right? So, but based on, because he said that, but he also said that they were changing as well. So this means they're not permanent. So there was the confusion because he said they could not be cut, right, or destroyed. Then that they said that, well, this means because of that it must be permanent, but he also said that they were changing, which the high school views, well, if it's changing it must be impermanent. Okay. Okay, so you really have to think about it, because initially you might think, well, if something can't be divided or destroyed, then maybe it is permanent. But if you think about it more, then if something's changing, this is not the only basis for permanent. If something's changing all the time, then it has to be impermanent. So you really have to think about this clearly.
어디제 다디 조디 둡다스스게 두딘 참에 두단당 차제 두단게 다턴다디 독스직시에 사례로.
Okay, so this gives a rough, well, not a rough overview. This gives an overview of how the lower school views these partless particles and the composition of those, and how the upper school views the most subtle particle and how these are composed.
다 뭔가 오메게 두타랄레 라고 둡주디시에로.
Okay, so now if we look at how these subtle particles form more gross matter.
뭔가
Oh, according to the lower schools.
얘도 뭔가 오메 슝주스 라베 숨나 두타랍 싹벌레 두가 숭주니스 다 속에 네 중다 단계 두린 다 디어라 두타랍 지어라 디네야 차제샤 디 속에 타도바디 아니 두타랍 드레스 민기 통수의 얘기로 먼저 민요로 다시 세야로 존 세야로 베마사 포바사 민요로 민 마마마마 통르다나 아니 이게 에세 이게 엘레 마 아니 이게 여체요 말해서 그래 아니 뒤지 통도와데 뒤대 깨지마서 그래 뒤기 타도 뒤대 깨지마 뒤지 통아
Kechi yemo konza yewa medi
뒤대 깨지마서라 뒤기 타마데 쉐라 뒤기 타마데.
Okay, subtle moment. Oh, sorry. So when we look at this, I'll just read it first. So this is chapter 15, page 218. So this starts to look at how matter is made up, starting with the view of the lower school. So there is the following explanation in the text of the lower Abhidharma system on how coarse material form is established from the accumulation of subtle particles. The smallest unit of matter is a subtle particle. The smallest unit of word is a letter. The smaller unit of time is the shortest moment of time. And these that are innate compositions. So, as we said, the smallest matter is this, what they say is this partless particle. But then when you're talking about a word or a name, the smallest part of a word or a name, when you break it down, is a letter, right? So my name Anton, then this starts with the letter A, and then so if you break it down, the smallest constituents for a word or a name are the letters. And then the smallest part of time is this subtle moment. They just say the shortest moment of time, but it's like the Kechigma Tramoro. Yeah, is this the smallest composition of time is this Kechigma? It's like a moment.
단단한도 디도아 딩디 모던 상대세계 아니 세컨 이제 시그널이야 근데 미설이요 다외나는 때 미설도 쉬어지 뒤주 쉬어지로도 알아 뒤주 쉬어지 채두고라 먼저 먼저 디 낭백 디세디 다디 미 단다데 체리기 미란시 교다 알아 미 내추럴 지운디다라 this that 디나라 차 두주 장아 체베 차직디 뒤대 계정만 샤로 다디 락바래 딩디 모던 센딩 제는 데다 빼 락바래로 참 차고요 말에 이는 미가시에 초면적으로 통으로 말해 딩고마 미란시 내추럴리 간 지geb디 따다 되고 다도 체리기 내추럴 참마 뚜룩다 알아 내추럴 참마 뺏때 뚝제 쉬었어도 이거도래다고
참데 하고 무슨 가르쳤는데
뭐마 단데 뒤대 계정만사데 네차 두주 장아 체베 차직라 뒤대 계정만 알아 아니 다 딩다 모던 센딩이나 디 나라 디 두주 장아 들었다 billion trillion share dina thanga dina to billion trillion yorda how was it
yeah so katsa did not 64 was it katsa did not
자 두주 장아 이제
tukchud senga 65
그래 디나네 찍디다 두대 계정만 샤라
right
이나 팅사 모던 센딩이나 데다 베 디나라 두주 망보
okay
이나 디 개와요 말 교요 말했어
yeah
먼저 자데 미란싱 내추럴리들 당가자 그랬어 다 단다 내추럴리 상마 베루루 따라 내추럴 간나 도사라고 내추럴 게 말어 갖고 미싱 스토리 담에서
okay
그 조더라 디 개와요 말이 항상 가시 뒤가 항상 Nangbe shida nawa mini ti mare. Nangbe shaya di susu mi rangjung ki tela ti jara.
Right.
Tanda rangjung mare, tanda peti sangma chemical turu tang sare.
So when we talk about this time, right? So we say everything's moment by moment changing, and we constitute what was said to be a moment. They said it was 1/65th of a finger snap, right?
Di ma che, di da di ma so ni chuji zayanga so.
Yeah. So if you break that sound, the time of that sound, you can break it down into 65 parts, and this made the smallest amount of time. Now, obviously, these days you could break it down further, right? With all the machines they have, they could probably break it down into 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000 parts, that same sound. However, right. Yeah, well, that's what they were saying, that's like their division is a natural kind of division of what the human perception, right? Then that's from the natural, the human perception, then that 1/65th is the smallest division. Obviously when you have machines and that, you can go further into it. But it's not to say that there's a fault there. Like some people will say, oh, they obviously you can divide that more, but naturally you can't. You have to do it kind of artificially if you want to divide it further than 1/65th of a finger snap. So there's no actual fault there.
Yes. Ayo. Adi shegore. Tadi shegore. Du tarap tadi dubdan shegore wa. Du tarap dun dubale duten chik. Tadi yabuda. Aya duten dun dubale ani chakdu chik. Chakdu dun dubale chudu chik. Chudu dun dubale ani rewong tab du mingre rewong du chik. Rewong du chik le ani lugdu chik. Lugdu chik le langdu chik. Langdu chik le nisik de. Ta nisik du sa de ana ngazo mig thonggo yarda.
Okay, so here we go.
Tadi mingre ming.
You're probably just going to want to read this because I'm just going to read it out. So we're calling this subtle part, the most subtle particle, right? So 7 of those represents the measure of 1 atom. 7 atoms represent 1 iron particle. 7 iron particles equals a water particle. 7 water particles equals a rabbit particle. 7 rabbit particles equals 1 sheep particle. 7 sheep particles equals an ox particle. And 7 ox particles equals 1 sunray particle. And the sunray particle is the smallest thing that can be perceived with the human eye. Yeah, so it is said that a sunray particle can be seen by the eyes, but those particles that precede it cannot be seen directly by the eyes. I don't know if I want to see an ox particle in a hurry, to be honest.
Ming.
Yeah, Geshe says it's just a name. It's not an actual ox.
Using the yeah, question.
It says it said that the sunray particle can be seen by the eyes, but those particles that precede it cannot be seen directly by the eyes. Okay, so let's go back to page 212. At the top, it says that the 7 subtle particles that constitute 1 atom, among the forms that are perceived by the eye or the eye constitutes.
Okay, so the tons of new period, so the tramadon, the trachechik, then the chu tan log to the mambo. So the mambo yere, then he make tongire, right? The nyama, the tramadon, the chatren chik so, and it did make tong tongian. Kawa. The
강기 둔dunse ne da di kongi disa gore nisig du inje dige du gore mi dinala nisig du dige du gore da di chik domdik jabshara gyo mare 디간라 담미 통해야 될 니세기 듀 차두 페나 랑두 듀 발라 아니 듀 차랍 듀제 네 싹바 차디 싹바야 차베 내가라 랑두 듀야 차두 다 싹베 듀 차랍 차고 왔다 하고서
Zakpe du
봐
true.
싹베 듀디 미 통으로 라사예
Dinyana di zakpe dun. Ro. So dini di. Seven sort dinang la dun yure and dinang la mambo yure.
그래
So check nang la
디다 껴요 말 디다 껴요
dini di kande hako gudu.
디껴요 말 콜라 차라 쿠란 낭세라 망보 차라 망보 여러냐 싹두 듀인디 나라야 아니 디게 참마 망보 도용으로 쿠란 낭세게
Okay. So it says there's no fault, it's just a different way of composing it. So this composition of the seven could be divided into more parts than just seven. Right? So di dun mangwa yure, dun lagura. Yeah, so if you were actually divided into parts, you could divide it into more than 7 parts.
딱그 듀텐 차랍 듀인디 미그 통도야 될라 간다 랑두 자데다 민디 랑두다 룩두 잡정은 밍 마투야 치더라다 맞아 계제 셰 마투야 치디인자 랑두 듀 장갈라 아니 디 미그 통야 디 다스 니세 듀직 차로 니세 듀 니메세나 듀지도 니메세나 듀 타보지도 맞아 미그 통그르데 어 딜라고요 다 디다 아니 당기 강게 나 미그 통도야 레세야기 삭두 듀인지 디네잔 찍고 차데
Di chikpura.
찍고 차데
Nime. Okay. So he's saying that this sun particle, even though it's divided into more, so these, like the rabbit particle and the ox particle and the iron particle, those are just names that are given, right? But when you divide it, this final one, the sun ray particle, and this atom, as it's translated here, I think it's a problem with maybe the translation. Because it's saying this word atom and then it's saying 7 atoms are equal to an iron particle, so maybe that's where the confusion is. But he's saying that the sun ray particle and this atom are the same. The one that's called an atom previously are the same. The smallest. So they both constitute the smallest thing that can be seen by the human eye, but yeah, you can divide it further than that, and you just can't see further. You can divide it like as many times as you want, right? Basically, or many. Sorry, he didn't say that. He just said you could divide it many times.
어디다 수제남지 좀시 참여 사고야 두발레 중에 지라마 단도데 켈렌데 스타지 지라마 때디 지라마 뒤즈르다 데르와 한다 디시나 야고요 디시바이나 디 야고지 셴바이나 아니 네 심잔베기 따와 체단디 싱기레 제메다 르샤마샤레 메슈지게 우마 만차게 도단 라우라오레 와 파샤야죠와 디는베 잡제 소오레 메슈지게 듀르단도 다오다오레 야와차와야마레
Oh, okay. So it's very good to understand this, because by knowing this basis of these this great exposition school, then you can help to understand the higher schools, the mind only, and so forth. Because in the way that material things are formed from a physical side, there's no difference. When it comes to talking about the mind and how it interacts, then there's a differentiation. But in terms of the physical composition of matter and so forth, there's no difference.
that's ngone siri redara ta danda dela thanga jasha ngomba jege dele nisirgi du thara du las nisirgi du la du thara gi thang khaje yora ta de dada do nisirgi du jig na la du thara gi thang de jig ju ja dong chi bum gembum ni di sum dong ap ja shi ji sum do de fode ba ngomba jege dandele shi nisirgi du jig na la du thara gi thang gembum ni di sum dong ap ja shi ji sum do de 장가지 껴다며
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. I remember reading before. I'm just trying to find it. Where it talks about. Oh, here we go. Dire di zonangla di 823 di mambo.
디 니세기 뒤직라
Oh, okay.
뒤타로 장가 디게요. 최단
Yeah.
코에날 예와데 다 용초보다
Okay. So it says here, I'll just read this out. To compare these calculations, it goes on about the different calculations, right? To compare these calculations, the sun ray particle is defined as the trillion of knowledge, and its components equals 823,543 studied particles. According to Vinyavabhigaya, however, since the calculations increased by a factor of 6, a single sun particle equals 279,936 subtle particles. In contrast, a single sun ray particle, as defined in the extensive display sutra, would have an equivalent of 343 subtle particles, while a single sun ray particle described in Modgalayana's presentation of the world would be equivalent to 49 subtle particles.
다디 장가디 껴요 말해서 장가디 카셰라 망보 카셰 뉴뉴샤라잖아. 카셰 락발라 장가자 카셰 타몰라 장가자라.
Right.
껴요 말.
So there's no fault in how they in these different divisions. Some of them just like to divide things a lot more than others, right? But so it's more subtle divisions rather than more gross divisions. But they're all saying the same thing. It's no fault. Maybe. Could the nima gito the kandi hakogido,
님의 뒤에
yeah, the migtong kanditong.
먼저 님의 샤인데 다다 디실을 통그랬대. 말한테 통그랬대.
Okay, so you can see the sunlight. That's how it came about. Like this when the sun shines, you can see this sunlight. This light you can see. That's the smallest particle you
Yeah,
can see.
you look sky and then they see sunlight and they see your sunlight. 이거 통그래.
Yeah, so we can see that some aspect of sunlight. The menangshing the drawada.
You're. Oh.
Oh. What was the question? I don't know. So there's like that. I guess we was talking about the subtle sun particle is the sunlight you can see. Saying you can also see the same thing in fire, right? Like the fire radiates this light and this radiation. So it's kind of the same.
제가 먼저 님의 수수 룰을 잡지 먼저 룰을 쳐야 돼서 님의 그 두디도 먼저 수분을 태운데 먼저 수분 거라 대로.
So this light that hits our body and heats it up, and the heat that heats it up. So this kind of this here, the and then the heat of the sun arises. So this is beneficial to our body. This sunlight.
제가 디지 버다. 두딘 타모도 수분을 투. 나도 수분이 두디만 거야 루세 되든 저래.
So like this is auto. The sunlight is made up of these the sun rays, I guess, is made up of all these subtle parts. But also our body's the same. It's made up of these tiny particles, and it's a composition of many of these particles.
Without machinery, yes. 제가 대용 거라 미밍면 얘기로 미밍면 얘기 니마도 비야도 니마 꼼 잡지 니마도 봐 니마 산
established from sun.
산 잡지 니마도 되네 님의 파워쇼 이제 concentration 지 레디 아니 미기 가왔다위나 근데 burning 제로 그 미.
Like Superman. Okay.
그래 된다 날린다 봐. 좀 더 history 날린다.
Right.
날린다 디 뭔다 야가게 콘도 빵고요라고 빵고 밍메바 직당 군인이 잠발롱 칼라롱 걸레라 아니 타워드 칼라마다 콘돌라 낭베 추그 품바게 추딘데 그거 강나셔 군이 힘들어와 군이 베트라네 아니 디 빵고 밍메 저디 군이 마두고 예스 미신다디 콜라 칼라데 사곤도나가 사고노나 꼼자. 안 간단지라 거게 니마 돔네. 안 거야 통네. 안 나렌다라 그 믹다제 니마레네 메라자. 히스토리 들.
Okay, so there was this blind Hindu. Like at first he was a beggar, right? And the monks weren't offering giving him food, right? Because they were offering it to the Buddhas and so forth. So then he decided to go and meditate, and so he.
Marda, the monk did give this vows. Was it bless water? These two beggar, and two beggar become upset. You know, they are Hindu tradition. You know.
Oh, okay.
They're upset. Then they say we want to do something. They harm this society, you know, monastery. And then the blind beggar said, I can do sun power being meditate. And other beggar said, I feed you. And then 3 years later, he come up and he said, did you got this power? He said, no. And I can't do this. If you come out, don't have this power, I want to kill you, you know. He had that. And he go back again. He did again maybe 9 years. Then he got this sun, this power. And I saw everywhere he burning. Then he come up and Nalenta, the library, everything. I bring fire, sun, you know, burning. This reason Nalenta destroy. This is 3 times Nalenta destroy. One part this cause this story. Yeah, they bring your energy. Sun's bring energy. You bring meditation, and you have some power, and you see then burning there. Yes. And in Tibet, there are some yogi, and they do winter 3 months meditate, been retreat 3 months, only netting, and they need to see their special star, and is visualizing and it bring energy. This star's energy bring, you know. And you do mantra, and they put some sand or rocks, put a special pocket, and then is this power coming? They become wet. This power, star power come your this sand. You need all night need 4 sessions. Dead and need sleeping. Night and need meditation, reciting some mantra. If you this power got, and then you this all sand and rocks become wet, and then this keep in the summertime. And the summertime, they hell, hell coming, hell, and this he's controlling, hell controlling. And sometimes no raining, and he do this prayer, and raining coming. Yeah. In Tibet they have their lineage. Our country have one man, and he has this power. And one time, the 1959, his father has some problem. The local government give for him for food, you know. And one time his health go in the all farm barley is gone, and the governor want to give him punish. He said, I have power, something there wrong. And they what's he say? Chuza. Especially pot, you know. There's lots of holes. And
like a sieve.
Yeah, and he said you put water, and I can do mantra. I stop this water. It's a holes, you know, pot. And the people put water. He do mantra. One drop no coming. He has this power. And then then they went Jobje Tirumbuchi Saja Lama. You made this in Auckland. And the people went there. What happened? He has this power, and he has this power, and our farming or barley is, hell is chopping. He can't control this, you know. And then he did meditation. Something your country did a big mistake last year. What is put somebody somewhere, you know. Yes, the one stealing person, and they give punish, and he died. and this body put somewhere, and this body he's become very powerful. There he bring this health humming the country, and there's subject to remedy say you did something, put something there, people dead body put somewhere. And they say, oh, yeah, we put last year someone stolen person, they give punish their dead, and we put body some throw somewhere, You need to take out, and they need to chop, they need to ritual. And they did this, and then after her coming, and he controlling everything. He finger, he do like this here. On the mountain, he wrote hills alphabet. He's very powerful, similar like that. Amazing. I met this old man. I met this old man. I met this when I was young, and my mother talking his story and asking him, and he's talking. He's very nice talking his story, his experience. He has lots of experience like that. He said 3 months need meditate whole night for session, in dead and sleeping, and 3 months no one person no can see. He's there, and especially his house, and people bring food in the hall, and he put their food, and he do 3 months to retreat. It's funny, lots this happened. Oh, what's it up here? Yeah, homework we have page, did you send this? Yeah, this read, and I think this time we need to understand more these two. Was the ngomba ngomeshe chameda ngomba ngomeshe chaje chame dubzedi ene duze jail dine dubdan
Okay.
and they duze dubdan dije de yago ji shembe na de yago yorasa.
So to understand the lower school's view of a partless particle, and then why the upper school's view say that every particle has parts. So this, divisible or part having particles of the upper schools. So what's the distinction between these? And then also these 8 constituents. Understand those.
Okay. And then they do ngomba ngome do la jonga shesonga jonga de yawa de ji
And
shene.
these 15 divisions of subtle form.
Shenda de ming de yeda jail de leng dinala do te kiran do de lo shana de tama de lo shana.
Yeah, so you can read about it all in here.
The page de yue page yamara.
Yeah, so today we covered from 210 through to say 219. We're halfway through 219.
Yeah, this and do la jema til hama de dora.
Yeah, and then we've got more for next week.
Okay.
Page 31.
Rabdin shin nanga tin le choju jadan. Le me sa ji to le me se ta to ji ju ji. Kamni ataya mi.